Is that you, Fuad?
It is, yeah.
Fuad?
I'm gonna turn off my camera for a little bit because I'm having a late dinner, but I'm still listening, and I'll join you on video in a little bit.
What are you eating?
Black cod.
Why don't you put the
cod,
camera
potatoes
on your
au gratin,
food?
and broccoli.
Tastes
And
good.
I made an aioli sauce for the black cod.
Fuad, can you put the camera on your food as you eat?
I don't think you want to.
Come
Funny. Oh, Lisa,
Share the
you
dinner.
are so funny.
Okay, so I'll see you guys in a little bit.
You're having a Swanson dinner right now. You probably don't even know what Swanson dinners are. I got it called that my whole life.
Hey, those are good.
They are good. I usually like the chicken
Chicken pot pie.
Ooh, chicken pot pie too. Yes, I know.
Yes.
Those Swansons can cook. I tell you. Well, thanks for joining me, guys. Again, it's Monday. I know we're all going to be a little tired pretty quick on this one because of the hour change and stuff. You know, losing an hour. So really, right now we're really working on Eastern time. I feel sorry for the guys who are on Eastern time, you know, painting with us, because they're really probably going to be tired by the time this is over. But what I'm pulling up, what we're going to do, I was going to talk about this one really quick. Did you guys, on this one, I was just talking to Emily about it a little bit, about how really dark these midtones really were on that horse and stuff. I might have went a little bit too strong and stuff. I usually might even have to come in. Ooh, still wet, a lot of white. I might even have to come in and brighten this guy up a little bit. And if I brighten anything up on him, it'll probably just be it's probably more in the highlights than the midtones or the shadows and stuff. It's usually going to be a little bit brighter highlights, and they're going to be probably anything where the light's hitting it on top and catching it first, you know, before it hits anything else. So probably right up here, probably be brighter, could be brighter and stuff. It looked a lot brighter to me on last week than it does today. Now it looks pretty dull, dark and stuff to me. I don't know why. But let's see. One of the things I put in the background after we left. I'm sorry, I just got to throw it in. Things I found out and stuff. About this building and stuff, making sure that this building is just kind of, for me, I didn't want it to fight with the horse and stuff and just pull me away from the horse. So I didn't even put in the window, because I said the window is too much of a structure right here on the side. I figured it was going to, and since he's leaning that way, it might pull this attention away from this part of the scene. So I didn't even put it in, and you know, I'm just lazy that way. Then the roof here and stuff, I toned it down. It was a lot brighter in the photo and stuff. I wanted it to tone down and stuff because I didn't want it to be like right, especially up here in the corner, being at something too bright and you know, pulling my eye away, because there's a lot of good strong contrasts around it. And if that was too bright, you know, it would become a little eyesore right there in the corner and stuff. So that's why I toned mine down. I think I told you, Lisa, to tone yours down. Things. But back here in the background, I kind of let it go really quick. I didn't even try to paint the trees very much. I just wanted to hit the idea of the trees, and because I find that the looser I paint the background and stuff with fewer strokes, bigger strokes, simple, clean, put them in, lay them down and walk away, the tighter this guy becomes, more of the focus. It's a lot easier to make this guy stand out. You know, he was going to stand out anyway. He's right in the middle of the painting, right? But just painting wise and stuff, it tightens this guy up enough that I can get away with a lot of things and stuff. You know, I can be that lazy painter that I like to be and stuff. So this horse is done.
So Jim, this is Jeannie. Hi. So what I learned from that, because when you look at the photo, when I look at the photo, I always think, oh my, that's so much to paint, right? So I
Right.
think it's a great example of focusing on what's the most important part of your painting, and then let everything else kind of complement that, versus you don't have to paint everything.
That is yes, that is the good point. That is pretty much exactly what I should have been trying to say, but you know,
No, I'm just saying that's
All
what I learned from that painting. What you just said is that it just, because when I saw your painting after you did it, when we left class, it wasn't finished, right? So I was expecting to see the fence and all the stuff, and it's a good reminder that you don't have to paint everything.
it is. That's a really good point too. Yeah, thanks, Jeannie. That that's another thing. A lot of things, you get so tied up to the photo that you don't know where to breathe and stuff. The photographers usually are shooting for something probably totally different than what I'm looking for, because I find I find fun in the strangest little things. I find more interesting in the shadows and a strong shadow and a bright light than perfect form. So I always find just the opposite of what I should be looking for. But yeah, that's what I do. I'm having
That
trouble.
was really nice. I liked it.
But here, that one's done, and we are going to be going on to a long, skinny one today, right? I asked you guys if you guys could get one and stuff. If you don't have one, that's fine. If you got a regular size canvas, let's say, you have a regular square one, just tape off, just run a piece of tape across, masking tape across part of the bottom to make it more of a elongated type of canvas for yourself. What I wanted to do today was we're going to be working more with these longer composition wise and stuff. Sometimes I find that these long skinny ones are kind of a nice refresher for painting and stuff, that they are because they are so long and skinny. You don't, even if you put something directly in the middle, it has so much negative space that it's still interesting and stuff. And it's so easy to design on one of these too, because all you do is you take anything and put it off center, and you got a pretty decent composition right off the bat. And so that's what I was thinking. I wanted to, just do a little palette refresher here on this one. And so we're going to be along. This is like just a 12 by 24. So if you got a 10, 20, you can make it 10 by 20, or even a 16 and 8 by 16, type of canvas. I go with the 12 by 24 because if you do get a frame, want to frame it later on, you can find a 12 by 24 frame easy. I mean, I just had to spend like almost $90 on a 10 by 20 frame, because I had to have it made because I couldn't find one. And that's expensive, because you put that on your bottom line and stuff. You all of a sudden you gotta start making money somehow. You can't sell that painting really cheap anymore. So anyway, hey, just thinking out loud. But today, also what we're gonna be painting today is a fun little scene. I'm sorry, my black ink ran out and stuff, so I'll be pulling it up here on the screen real quick. But this is from Mackinac Island. This is during the winter on Mackinac Island. Mackinac Island, everybody knows pretty much you can't drive cars or anything like that on it. It's all horse and buggy pretty much during the summer. But in the winter, they get around by snowmobiles. Really heavy duty snowmobiles up there. So we will be going through that. And so that's what this is. I'll pick a long one. Yeah, this photo comes from a good friend of mine up there in Mackinac Island. Her name's I can't remember her name now. No, Heather May of May's famous fudge, Mackinac Island fudge up there. They've been there for decades and decades up there. They make some great Mackinac fudge. That's another thing that the island's known for. So, okay. So she shot this, you know, this is like on a Sunday morning, I think it was. And they all get together and go snowmobiling and zooming around around the island and stuff. This is a pretty big trail right here, and right behind them, you see all that opening. Here, let me get my stuff up here. We'll start talking about this a little bit, but talking about this opening back here. Well, from there back is nothing but water. That's Lake Michigan back, or well, it's Lake Michigan, Lake Huron there and stuff. Yeah, the ice just builds up right here. And a lot of times when it freezes over good enough stuff, they'll just go right out on the ice and go, you know, ride all the way to regular Mackinac from there. But this being said, on this photo and stuff, I really loved, okay, I thought I could be nice to do because I like the design and stuff, but I do love the shadows, the purple shadows in the snow. And I thought that would be, we're going to be getting into snow here pretty soon. There's no stopping it. It's already sprinkled on us. Yeah, and we just painted fall a little bit. So I wanted to, I love painting snow. So that's what I'm jumping for. But I just wanted to point out a few things in this as we go about the colors of shadows and stuff. The ones that are closer to us here, you know, that's really how you get depth in snow and stuff. It's more, it has to do with the shadows than a lot of the brighter colors. I mean, yeah, it's pretty dull. I mean, you look at this front here and stuff, how dull that color is compared to this, how burned out it is here and here. That has a little bit to do with the camera, but we can probably, but it also brings us back nicely. But also I want to talk about these shadows here having a little bit more red in them in the front here, having a little bit more red in these things, as you can see. And then as it goes back, it gets bluer, it gets cooler, it gets bluer and bluer. And then you can just see right back there how blue that blue is compared to, you know, this one up here. Gets lighter and gets bluer and stuff. So that's almost like a pure blue and white, you know, back there when we get there. It's almost what you can use for the sky. You know? I mean, sky's a lot lighter than that, but you can be using it. The one thing about this, okay, the person, there's only a couple people here too, so we got a little bit of work to do with people. This one happens to be on a snowmobile, but I treat snowmobiles as I would almost a box or anything else. It's basically a square. It's not a big detailed thing. There isn't really anything detailed here. Even the people, I mean, that person is nothing more than a square with a couple skinny legs and stuff and a square head. That's how I'll be attacking him and stuff. And same with the person on here on the snowmobile. Really everything's very cool, very, very cool. A lot of purples, a lot of red, blue purples as you go back, red purples as we come up, little kind of red, green purples here. When I say red, green, this is like, that's phthalo green and alizarin right here. And these dark ones right here. And then it turns from green, we'd be using blue, and then we'll go more blue and more blue and more. Okay, I'm talking too much. Anyway, but I like the design on this, I think, overall, because I just really kind of like this kind of street thing going back, snow street going on and stuff, and how it goes back all the way back in that one little spot, and then kind of turns, and you can make it turn and go around. And this little gorgeous little color of a, you know, bush right here, showing through this little burnt sienna and white and a little bit of blue in there. Yeah, that's a really nice, just comes out of this tree so nicely and stuff. That'll be, a nice little feature to put in there and stuff. And just a little bit of green, not too much. A little green, we'll be able to show you how to put snow on some of these guys' things. And there's one key thing I always tell everybody about snow, that there is no such thing as white snow, right? No pure whites in our snow. We will always have a tint to them. It'll be either warm or cool, but there will never be pure white because there's no such thing as that out there. It's always reflecting something. It's reflecting sky, reflecting sunlight, reflecting a tree next to it. There's always some color that white. It might be very high key, but it's still going to be white. I mean, still going to have color in it. So that being said, this is going to be a fun one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yay!
think it will be.
It should be. I think this is going to be fun because we can paint it pretty much. I'm thinking about it ahead of time that this is going to blend right into this. This is all going to be painted kind of like together really quick, and then we'll come back and put in all the highlights, the dashes and stuff going across here a little bit, and that shouldn't take too long, So I think we'll have plenty of time to go vote and everything. Go get in line and vote right now. So anyway, so
After tomorrow.
Once you get in line early, you're gonna need it. It could be a long line probably. Okay, any other questions about that? Things back in there. There's a lot of little things I want to shoot. We'll probably be doing a lot of little palette knife work and stuff in this one too. That's going to be really kind of fun because I can see it just like little spots and trees. I can put a little palette knife on.
Jim, this is Jeannie. I have a
Put it
question.
in for.
Are you going to be using titanium white or the unbleached? Or both?
You too soon. Can we go over to the palette and talk about that? About different whites and stuff. Very good, Jeannie.
You're welcome.
As she was talking about unbleached white and white, I do have both out on my palette today. This is unbleached white. As you can see, it's more of a beige than it is a white. But I have two other whites here. This back in here, I don't know if you, let me go through my palette and then I'll talk about these whites. But this is a titanium white back in here. Here I have a Permelba white, which is ever white and titanium white mixed together. And it's a cooler white. That's much warmer. This is much cooler. It's on the more blue side. Both are on the blue side, but this one's definitely on the blue side. And it's brighter and it's cleaner than a regular titanium white. I have a cad yellow light out here. Both here, just a little left over from one. Cad red left over. I'm not going to be refreshing that. I won't. For this one, I won't be using a ton of it. Same with the cad orange here. I do have some ochre out, which will be nice to have in this one. I have alizarin crimson, and there's here. This is just a medium cad red right here. I think that is. Don't put that out. You don't want to have to put that out. That's just left over from another painting I was working on. Here, this was Venetian red. Here I got cobalt blue hue that is just needs to get the skin off it. Just been adding to it instead of cleaning it, which sorry I didn't do. Here we got burnt sienna, burnt umber, phthalo green, and over here I did I have the royal blue of Rembrandt's royal blue. But I also right here I have that blue and white mix. I just made this up real quick. I just took a little bit of blue here from my cobalt blue hue and add in white, just white, added together. And as you can see, can be very close to that. So I just figured, hey, let me see if I can make it real quick. So let me put these guys out of, I got these out of my hair. I think I got enough paint to do this small painting. It's a very quick one. And also I wanted to show you guys my new brush here. This one where Lisa told me to go, said, you should, since I usually use these ones, and they're an 1.5 inch kind of broad brush. And these are by Royal Langnickel. And Langnickel's a really good brush. Usually they make some really great high-end brushes. And so these are their lowest of the low, creepy, cheapy ones. But they're still probably better than, most of the brushes out there. So, I use these guys and the hairs don't fall out. So that means something. That's pretty good. But this one here, this is my 1.5 inch. And this is about a 2-inch brush and stuff. So I thought I'd try it. Okay, back to whites. Okay, let's just do a real quick little. I'm just going to do this little demo for you guys on white. This is hopefully you guys can see this. This is titanium white. This is, and that is Permelva white. I'm just going to put a little bit of red into each one and mix it about the same amount into each one. They should, and you can barely tell, but one will be definitely a little cooler and one will be slightly warmer with red. That is the titanium. And this is Permelva.
Sorry, Jim, I just missed that. You had two whites. What? Jim, I'm sorry, I missed that. You had two whites. What kind of were they? One is titanium
Did I
and the
stop you
other
from
one is
eating?
what?
You had to put your food down and come talk to me, didn't you? I got him excited. I'm just showing a difference between regular titanium white, which is versus Permelva white.
Oh, Permelva. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Permelva white's just a little bit, has some ever white into it, which is more like a lead white.
Yeah.
It's whiter, cleaner, and brighter.
Yeah, I use Permelva a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. In fact, I just got this yesterday. My daughter brought it to me.
Wow, look at that.
That thing is heavy. That is heavy. 16 ounces of white, baby.
Yeah.
That's going to be using for. But I was just saying that the difference is it's very slight, but this one definitely has a little bit more warmth in it than this one. You might be able to see it better. Let me clean my knife. You might be able to see it just a little bit better in blues. Oops. And see how scientific this. You guys didn't expect to get this scientific, did you? Come here and go, okay, we're going to put just a little bit of blue in this one and white, and we will see which one is cooler and which one is warmer. And it's very subtle, but it's sometimes good to know. I mean, it's just the difference between the two.
I've never heard of that Permelva white.
Oh, Jeannie, how long have you been taking my class? You have to. Don't lie to me.
Long
girl.
enough that I should know, I guess, but I never heard of it.
Yeah, it's
See,
a lot cleaner. I know a lot of guys love it for plein air, going out when they go plein airing and stuff, because it doesn't freeze up as much. It doesn't get thick where some of these things. I think you can kind of really tell right here. This one has a lot more warmth in it than this one. This one's a lot cooler. So it's a little bit warm. And we did talk about unbleached white. As we can tell, I can bring that, put some blue in it, and yeah, we can definitely tell that's totally different color, right? That's what happens when you put unbleached white, blue into unbleached white. It almost gets a tinge of green to it. hey, you just a lot of things just to put away in your memory, and maybe you can use them someday. That's half the thing is having a memory of what colors you really like and stuff.
Jim, I forget which it is, whether it's Winsor and Newton or Gamblin, but one of them makes a warm white.
Yes, flake white.
Do you, huh?
There's a flake white out there that's really good, but it's very expensive. And it's a very
Yeah, no, it's called warm white.
Yeah, it's a lot warmer than this. It has almost feels like it has yellow. I know it's a Flemish white, and a lot of the what's Rembrandt? Yeah, that's it. That's the guy's name, Rembrandt. He used to like to use it for when he did highlights and stuff. Just using it. It's really stringy white. It's really kind of a weird white to use. Okay, so there we go. There's my demo for the day. That is out of the way. Let's get into our painting. Okay, I can only use this to point to, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to go in here and but I can point to you and tell you why I'm thinking about this. But right in here is one of the darkest darks. Is right in here, these, of course, these shadow areas, these trees and stuff. But this one right here is warmer. It has a lot of warmth. It still has a lot of evergreen in it and stuff. That's why I was going to go straight green, phthalo green, and alizarin crimson mix.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, what is that? I heard it. Oh, no, not that color again. Yes, that color one more time. I might have to make it just a little greener. Don't get it on your hands, right? Yeah. That's why I always use my knife. There you go. These are going to be some dark colors. I'm just going to leave. They're going to go in very dark because I'm going to lighten them with a mid-tone, little pieces of a mid-tone. They're going to lighten this color, but I like to have this, boom, solid base down before we, dig into all the colors behind and stuff. All right. So we got that color. That one's just alizarin crimson and a little bit of green, phthalo green. We're going to go back and we're going to go same mix almost, but with blue instead of phthalo green. So that is cobalt blue hue, and it's going to be mixed with alizarin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably a lot of, alizarin this blue is not very strong. So you might need to probably, it's a little bit more blue than it is phthalo, or alizarin. But I do want, just like everything else I do, probably going to have two versions. One more, just a little more red, one a little more, just a little more blue in it. The one with the red will come forward. The one with more blue in it will recede.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this will take care of, these colors here will take care of pretty much the dark trees going right up to here. This one back in here, it's going to be probably just, if anything, I do the same thing with blue and just a little bit of alizarin. And it's going to have to lighten a little bit because I've already done that. I just take a little bit of blue and white,
mm-hmm.
one of these, and add it in here.
But that's still blue and alizarin?
Yeah, just basically blue and alizarin, just a little bit of white.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice color.
And that will end up being probably, will sit right here for this tree here.
Mm.
So, and this will be a nice middle tone. This it's like a middle tone compared to these guys. And I'll be able to start using this like for the lower branches. A lot of times I'll use blue and this color, one of these colors here for my snow in the shade and stuff, instead of doing, going with white or anything else like that. You always got to look for in the shade, it's going to be cool. It's going to be in the blues or purples or blues or something. depending on where it is. So that's what I'm going to use here. Let's do the big, since we're got blues and whites and stuff, let's just keep going. And it's going to be very simple here about how we're going to go about getting this blue streak here and stuff. That is just going to be, going to do two versions though. I probably could use either one of these, but this is just blue and alizarin together again. And then I'm going to be bringing in white, expanding up, you know, whatever white. I've got both of them here. I wasn't sure which one to go with. And you can tell right away that alizarin is a lot stronger than the blue. Really going to come forward. And it's not really that strong it's not really, this purple here isn't really that strong yet into the painting and stuff. It will be in places, but it's never, I'm not going to need it that much. So I'm just going to take a little piece of it, shove it to the side and grab some more blue, keep my pile a little bit smaller. All right, so I'm going to add a lot more blue. From now on, I probably have enough red in this pile that I won't be on. And what I want to do is take the pile, you know, make a basic pile. And yeah, it's really close to the right color. Just a little more blue, maybe. Blue. Okay. And then go, all right, you got to make this these purples kind of flatten out and come forward to you. And the only way I find to do that is to really get this front one, have a little bit more warmth in it, purple wise, blue, purple, it's probably blue. And back in here, it's got to be more blue. It's got to be cooler in the back. So I will take just a piece of this pile. I'm going to put just scratching.
Yeah, to dull it down.
Yes?
Yeah, because that's the complement of the purple.
You're right. So I'm just going to warm up this purple just with a little bit.
It's also going to gray it down a bit, right, Jim?
It does. And I'm going to, hopefully, you know, you don't have to use it a whole lot, but it will do the job very quick, because I find it underneath these shadows of these trees here. I can see it there. And at least in this first third of that shadow, it can be this color. And then this color can be in the middle third. But as we go back, though, it has to lighten up and gray out a little bit. So I would take a little bit of this and probably just put in more blue. And we'll go over here and steal out of that white and blue I made up. And if you guys need to make it, it's just, like, you could just add white to it. But, you know, sometimes it's nice to have a consistent pile to dig to, you know, dig in here and stuff. So.
You're going to gray that down too?
It will gray down naturally a little bit. There's a few things I like in here and stuff I was thinking about.
Okay.
It'll be fine back there because of the highlights. It's going around and stuff. I think we're going to make it look a lot grayer than it is.
Oh, okay.
There is also, I'm probably just going to steal a little bit of this and just go with it right now and just say that this is going to be the far back one. So basically blue and white. I'll just show it again how I made it. Just a little bit of blue, a lot of white, and get this mid-tone for this. And that's really just going to end up being, there's no purple in it. And that's just, I'm going to try to get this gradation from a warm purple to a medium purple to a blue purple to blue white, you know. And even I'll be using these guys here probably for the sky or in here. Okay, so let's just say that'll take care of the shadows. That'll get me going and stuff. And I'll be able to use some of these colors, the sky colors and stuff here, for some of the overhanging snow that's in the trees and stuff. I mean, there are probably some nicer purples yet to dig in here and get, you know, but I'm not gonna dig very far right now.
Jim, do you ever do yellow and white for highlights on the snow?
Oh, buddy. Man, now we're talking, right?
What pile are you working on now, Jim?
What color? What?
What's going on with, what are you mixing right now?
I can't tell you. That's a secret.
Darn it.
No, this was alizarin and white. Basically, this color here. or
Okay, with white.
This color here,
Okay,
just white.
thank you.
And because I had more alizarin in it and stuff, it's gonna come out this color and stuff, right? That's a good color for purple. These like blue purples and stuff are really good for almost highlights, mid-tone highlights in these blue dark purple shadows, or like this when you get into these little reflective shadows and stuff. I like using them there. This will also probably come in handy up here. Be a nice transition color between the blues and into the light sky and stuff. I always like to, you know, it could be, you could find it there. But Claude was right about getting the highlight colors, right?
With yellow and white, is that what you do?
Yellow and white. That's close, very close as we need to get, right? I usually like to do a little bit of a few things here. It's got a little bit of blue in it. That'll be fine. I'm going to go with ochre, just a scraping of ochre in here and white. That's a nice natural kind of white. You know, this will probably end up doing the yeoman's work of getting in here and stuff. I mean, for the basic color. I mean, I'll need a lot of it, but I'm also gonna, of course, it's not going to be the only color, right? That's work in this class. This can't be the only color. And this isn't even the highlight. Basically, I should, in fact, before I go to the midtone, is almost find that highlight, these highlights here. And they are warm, they are white. And I'm gonna go white and just go with just a scraping of cad yellow. Doesn't have to be much, because we're gonna keep this really, really high clean. It's almost like I said, cad yellow is too strong against white and stuff. I'm gonna have to use a lot of white to knock it out.
Yeah.
It as high as I want it to be. But there's also one thing I like to do is just take this yellow white. This is just cad white and yellow and white, or cad white and a touch of yellow.
Okay.
Right? Really high. Take a little sky, little light blue, and add that into it. Usually that would make a green or anything. But what happens is it really doesn't. It basically makes, that's what you start to neutralize the yellows and stuff. And you start getting, as you can tell, this one you can see the warmth in it. This one's neutralized and stuff. And this becomes a really nice highlight color to find in these kind of areas, these neutral areas and stuff. The big highlights that we're going to be digging into over here and stuff, we got to have fun with those and stuff. This color here will also probably be nice for things on the trees and things like that, yellows and stuff. I'll be going back and forth between these guys really a lot. I always find that. And as we regress in space here and stuff, we got yellows and warms come forward. The next area, God, I didn't think I would run out of white. Can you believe that? I'm just going to go with some cad red and white, as you can tell. And that's going to come in right in here. A lot of this, I'll be mixing these guys, but this is going to be like the main color in here. I might also look at, I always do this. I have a warm one, but I would just like to have a cool one too.
Mhm.
And the alizarin and white make a nice cool one too. Nice pinks and stuff. These guys you're gonna need, because I'm gonna be using them in the highlights here, mixing them in, highlight into these things to get real expressive and stuff. And you'll be able to find a lot of them over here on these ridges and snow.
So you're making them red on purpose to come forward.
Yeah, definitely gonna be thing. And there's another thing about painting snow, that's the thickness of the paint you put down.
Mm.
The thicker that paint also helps it come forward too. So I got that, and that'll take care of that. I still got a little bit of that. Okay. The people and stuff I'm just going to pull from these darks in here. They don't have to be anything. We got the browns. Let's get the browns and the greens. I called this one out earlier. I don't know. I think I'm right. I was going to go with like burnt sienna, probably ochre
Mm-hmm.
for some of this tree here, and then tinge it with some blue and white. Just a little bit of blue into it to gray it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then take a piece of that and just add some little bit of white, or even some of that unbleached white. If you have it, if you have on white, it's good to have it. Use it if you have it out. Yeah. So I'd be taking from that. That's just a little cool, but I want to get it up to about the right value first. Then I'm going to warm it up with some yellow, regular cad yellow. Just a scraping cad yellow into it. Warm me up. I might go back in here and do the same thing if you in this pile here. I don't need that whole pile, just more yellow into it. See, it becomes a nice ochre. That's why a lot of people can do without ochre and stuff, because you can make it so easy, so many different ways, and do it probably better than it is. I'll put just a little bit of red in that. Oh, one more blue, purple. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't make up, and I probably should have. I'm gonna need it. No reason to have it out here if I'm not gonna make it up. I'm gonna go just blue and a little bit of Venetian together. And just leave it. I'll be using that here and there. Also, I'm gonna take a piece of that, bring it over and add some white to it, because I really like the gray color it makes. Blue gray it makes. I'll be able to use this.
So what is
Definitely
that?
gonna need this.
Blue, Venetian, and white?
Yeah, blue, Venetian, and white. And I'm going to make sure I have two versions of this, because this is a good, important color. It's my beautiful gray color here. And I really strongly everybody to get this color. Make sure they have it. You need more white.
Break out that tub.
I got just a little bit of this one left. I'm going to get rid. Dump it, and steal it. Everything out of it. Everything I can get out of it. Go. Because I want these smoky blues, because these are going to be really nice and nuts of some of these shadows and stuff in the front here, because it's going to go really well with these ochres and stuff over here. So it's going to make up a nice versions for me, I think, to help me put build these ruts and with these warms and yellows and stuff. That's what I'm thinking. So, all right, this color here, it's just some unbleached white, and guys, I'm going to put just a little bit of blue into it, just in case, just to have like a blue gray, just to have it. I can see that in here too. That would be nice, especially when you get dirtier snow or snows that have been run over and used a little bit. It's nice to have it. Okay. I got the tree. I got these things. Let's see. I got some green. Yeah, the green. I just go with a little phthalo and I have cad yellow right here left over. And that's a little bit too strong, right? Just a little Venetian. I'll put just scratching of Venetian will neutralize the green a little bit. And a little bit of blue too. I have two little versions of it. Should have probably put up brand new blue. But I didn't think I needed it. Thought I had enough here. So, anyway, there we go. These will be enough. And if I need to lighten that, I'll just put some more yellow into it, or some cad orange yellow into it. But that will do it.
Jim, this is Jeannie. That was green and Venetian and what else?
Yeah, green, Venetian, and yellow. This
yellow.
phthalo green, some Venetian, some yellow.
Oh, no. Okay.
I also just added blue to it too, just some onto one piece of it to darken it up, just to have two values.
Oh, okay.
That's all. It's very little. It's going to be in there and stuff.
Yours looks very light. Mine looks very dark.
Probably more yellow.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
So I think that'll be it. I'm going to tone mine with
Jim, what
Venetian.
about that tree? What about that bush or tree on the back right?
The bright one? This one?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was burnt sienna and yellow.
Oh, you're gonna use that? Okay.
Yeah, I might, and yeah, that's what I'm going to use, and I'll probably be using these purples and stuff into it too to neutralize the front and the back of it. But I want the main swatch to be pretty strong. I'm thinking this might be just a little dead. It might be more exciting, a little richer too. Might be. Hey, you caught me. Let's make it rich. Anyway, if it works, it will. I'll fix it. Oils, right? We can do whatever we want. So that's the basic stuff for this painting. Let's get over. You guys good?
I think so.
Good.
Jim,
All right, then.
for that forward, the first group of dark trees on the right, you did phthalo green and alizarin, and then back behind, I think you said it was going to go green blue.
Green. Well, blue, alizarin and blue.
Okay. Oh, all right.
It's-
Okay. I thought you meant you'd
Alizarin's
go
in both
green and blue. Okay. Okay.
Alizarin's in all these. Yeah, alizarin's in
Right.
all these shadows. There's a
Okay.
little bit of warmth over here and stuff of green and stuff too.
Mhm.
Because these two guys are pretty much, parallel to each other
Okay.
in their face. So don't, I might be throwing some over in here too, on both sides, but the heavy spot will be on the right side here.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't mix the
Here's-
blue
It's
green.
gonna be on
Okay.
the corner there. I can see it now. Now that I'm looking at it a lot closer. And this is going to be fun. So I'm going to start off with no. Venetian white, Venetian for my toning my canvas. Sorry, I got lost myself there. I gotta plug this in. Hopefully nothing falls. Right there. There we go. We're on the air. Let me get this. That's Lisa. Well, you got a lot of people here tonight. Everybody's excited about this, and everybody's quiet. I moved the camera up a little closer too, because this is kind of a, a little tough one to see and stuff. Hopefully, so if you have any troubles, I'll try to bring it up later and show it to you. But then first, I'm going to tone this guy with a little Venetian. And I'm going to use my brand new big Lisa brush. I call this my Lisa brush now.
You went to Joanne Fabrics with all the ladies?
Oh, you finally you missed that. I had fun with you. Your ears must have been ringing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I got my 2-inch brush here. My 2-inch brush.
Oof.
One thing is also making sure you have clean oil. I'm going to be painting the house with this one. In the house. Okay, so let's tone it down. Tone it.
Jim, you usually tone with burnt sienna, but you're using Venetian today. How come?
You were. I can't get anything past you, Fuad. Well, because there's a lot of blue in this one.
Okay.
And purples and stuff. The yellow in the burnt sienna will gray things out a little bit too much. So this is a really good reason to just go slightly, slightly redder, because it'll make a nicer, cleaner purples, I think, at the end.
Okay.
And as you can just see this stuff, just you don't do this and rub it in and stuff. Just you got to get that prepared a little bit. Get the thing accepting oil. So,
Jim, we're getting a glare on the left side. We're not able to see much.
over here.
Yeah, there's a glare on the canvas.
Okay, better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just have a light over there. Usually it's a fill light because it helps this side of my face. So I turn. That's the whole reason. It's all
What's important?
Oh heck yeah! You
never know
So-
who might be watching.
So the great same thing goes with this one is pretty much with a lot of my paintings and stuff is just the kind of the rule of thirds and stuff. How I want to bring this up and get the horizon to about 2/3 or 1/3. I'm going to go up here to 2/3 ish.
So
and break.
you're shifting the hole to the left.
Yeah, and making sure the hole is on this side, not in the middle.
Yeah.
So I'm making sure it's over that way.
Yeah.
Just like, see, that's a sign. That's beautiful. So this one comes down, comes in. Here's a lot of stuff in here we don't worry about. And we got the shadows in here. I'll pull out the highlights a little bit. Tree there, right? That's the cool thing about just get this accept oil just a little bit better before I go with my good stuff. I basically know where I'm going now, Wipe it out a little bit better. All right. And it'll be nice. This is gonna be nice because this color is probably gonna end up muting out a lot of the whites and stuff too, all the way through. All right, like I said, we'll go with our darkest ones here. That goes in here. And I'm gonna put it right here too. So it's gonna go in two places. It's gonna go basically behind the green tree. Ooh, here, if I can pull this up. Okay, you guys be able to really see it tonight. All right. So I'm gonna put it in here, and I'm gonna put it in here first, and I'll bring it into this one. But this area will be really blue after I'm done with it. So this is the phthalo green and alizarin mix. And it goes pretty much up front. I'm not going to worry too much about this green here and stuff because it's going to go over it. And I'll take it back a little bit, drift it back a little bit. And same over here. Just put a little bit over on this side, not as much. Right? More on this side. But I like to a lot of times let these strokes kind of just blend out and show through a little bit.
You're not using any oil, are you? That's all pretty much paint?
Now it's, yeah, the oil I have was pretty much what was on the canvas. Now I'm just kind of being darker colors and stuff, they tend to have a little bit more oil in them already. So they always go on just a little bit easier, except for when you do what I did and I didn't, the blue I used, I didn't put up new blue. I used some old blue here. And that's where I'm going right now is the blue right there. You can barely tell it, right?
Is that blue and alizarin or straight blue?
Yeah, blue and alizarin, it's on the blue side. Over here, I'm going to make sure it's on the red side.
Yeah, okay.
It's just one of those things. I can just see it. I see it, and I'm looking at my big monitor here and stuff.
Yeah, no, we can see that. We can see that.
You can see my monitor?
No, we can see the blue and the red.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna. It's nice to have these things kind of fade in and fade out of each other too. So right here would be the tree. And then back in here, it's going to go a lot lighter blue. This is the one where I added just a little bit of that blue and white mix to it and just lightened it up a little bit. And I'm putting that there. And there's just a little spot here. I see it just on some tree limbs and on the edge right before we get into the brown tree. This comes over a little bit more than that, but I want to bring that. Okay. Speaking of that brown tree, let's just go right into it. I'm going to go, first of all, keep it just a little bit darker right here at the bottom of where it is. That is just a little bit of phthalo green and alizarin. I just put in here, really thinned it out and put it in before I grab my regular paint and start putting that over it. And how I'm going to just drag that up and let it go. It's a little purple into it, I think. Yeah, so I just put a little purple gray into that color too. Gray, just a hair. It was that last one that I made up. It is just alizarin, crimson, and blue and white. A lot of white more than the other ones. That's all it was. you can really get a long ways just with those two colors together in the winter. Back in here, I'm going to go just the back of this tree here, just a little bit of warmth, just a little green showing through in it right in here. I'll be bringing the sky back into here a little bit. Just a little red in there. Okay. That's what I see. That's what I see. There might be a little bit of red over there too. Let's get into the shadow. See, we'll be done with this really quick tonight.
Mm.
Famous last words, right? Okay, I thought I'm going to start off with the alizarin crimson and blue mix with white, but I have a little bit of cad red into it and stuff, and I was going to put that right in here, and then feeds into the tree. The thing about this is making sure you get that little lip here from the rut and stuff, because that's going to start telling you where, you know, your ruts are and stuff. You know, so this is going to go up and around those ruts and under this tree color here. Blends in with this stuff here. Okay. And it goes in here. We can keep it a little darker on the edges here. And feeds it right into here, little angle spot. Okay. This probably needs to be stronger right across the middle. This is that big brush. Not too bad. It feels a lot like the other brush. Little flimsier though, I think, but you know, interesting. All right. I'm going to clean my brush a little bit and go to the bluer part in the middle. A little oil, make sure it goes on nice. And that's going to go right in there and start holding on. I can just work it a little bit into the front here, a little bit, areas and stuff. You can just see how it just starts to glow against this dark. So that's exactly what you want to keep happening as you go back in here too. You're going to find every time you put a new color, go to your next blue, and you use that into the shadows and stuff, how bright it gets and how just sets it up and gets me some really nice colors. Nice combinations I think. And in here, I'm just doing the bottom of the trees here. You can't see. Just basically taking my brush and just lifting it up and just pulling it off and just letting it come off here. It's going to be like all the in-between, do a lot of the in-betweens. I can only have to do is come back in and pick out the strong ones I want to really bring forward into the painting. So here, this is the last blue for this one section, and it is a lot more blue into it. And you can just start seeing how the depths really start to show of this.
Now it looks bluer, but it's still purple, right, Jim?
Yeah, it's really blue, and it just has just a little less crimson in it, a lot less crimson in it. You know, like I said, I'm not really going to worry too much about
that's nice.
The in-between stuff, but I'm just going to blend it out just a hair, but not over blend it. And then when it goes by itself against the contrast, it'll just darken up automatically and do a lot of that work. This is again, it goes up here. I'll just have to, a lot of this stuff, you just got to be, don't even have to be really even that close to. We'll get it, it'll get better, tighter and tighter as we go. But these, as you can just see how bright this is, it just starts to sing really quickly. All right. Just bring it back in here, just a little bit. And then as I go back here, you know, I'm going to go to my next lightest one, light blue. And that's going to be back in here. This is even the lightest one. There's one more I want to get that gets right in there. I'm going to go right there. And that's almost like that royal blue color. Just less, you know, it's right in here. It goes right into the tree here. Mm-hmm. And then we have the guy coming out of it right about in here. And I'll come back and use this light color here as almost my midtones. Everything else, just bring it up forward a little bit. Not too far though. This one gets to go up. And then there. There'll be some more blues back in here. But you got these piles. It's always nice to have these piles when you keep going and going and stuff, because I really like having a lot of piles. I'm going to go right into the sky and get this going and keep going, because that's the colors I got. What you find is right in here, it has a little more pink in the bottom horizon, and as you go up, it drifts into blue. So I'm going to be using that lizard, I'm going to be using, this is a Cad Red mix in white. I'll be using that and blue. That's the, put that in here, and then as it goes up, it goes to be more blue and blue and blue. It's almost too light. I'm just going to drag it down. This, a lot of times how I do my trees, just take it here and leave most of the paint up here in the sky. And then when it starts to come off, you just start seeing it come off, and I just twist my brush a little bit and let it do a lot of the work. And that can be part of this area here. Might be just a little bit too much paint. Then that's what I was talking about over here too. Just taking this color and taking it right into the trees, and just laying your brush flat and just wiggling it a little bit and let it come off. Might have to go up and do that too. Come back the other way and do it. Didn't come off quite as good as I wanted. But that's how it starts to look up pretty quick. Get rid of that. All right. Well, we might as well. You guys good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would go from there. I'd go and start getting into the warms stuff. I don't think this is perfect yet. Exactly right, but I can get one to start getting into the warms in this bottom here. thinking my ochre color, I need this just a little bit, was a little bit too light. I'm gonna put it in. Then I'm gonna go back and find my where the shadows go into it. So this is basically ochre and white, a little more ochre than looks like. I had to darken it a little bit. I'm gonna bring that in here, and it gets really dark in here. So blending these guys together a little bit more. Just a little bit of dirty white into here. That's when I'll start looking, start making the ruts and stuff here again in the roads. Using my tip of my brush to kind of guide me around here. This is going to leave the most paint right here against the shadow. Okay, finding out where I want to put these guys in. Okay. So everybody's staying healthy, hopefully? No one come down with anything strange?
Yeah, not so far.
Yeah, knock on wood, right?
Keep wearing that mask.
Yeah, definitely. So are you so you working from home, or you?
No, I'm retired.
You're retired?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And you still get in trouble. Are you back on Facebook yet?
Nope, they threw me off for 30 days.
Another 30 days?
Yeah.
You just came back. I thought you just got back.
No. They threw me off just before I joined your class.
Oh.
What
Well,
did you
you
do?
could get.
What did you do that was so bad?
They didn't like a post I made or a comment I made on a post. They said it violated their community standards. Ooh.
Yeah, that's so anti-First Amendment. I don't know.
Well, I subscribe to the New Yorker magazine, and in a recent issue, they had an article about Facebook and how Facebook tries to manage the content of the pages.
Yeah.
And it wasn't very flattering because effectively what they said is they're totally overwhelmed. They don't have enough people doing it. Their standards are very wiggly. And if you're somebody who's going to attract a lot of attention and a lot of traffic on their page, they won't ding you because what they want is more traffic on their pages because that's how they sell more ads. If you're somebody who doesn't sell a lot of traffic and a lot of ads, then they'll ding you. So
it's not really based on the content.
It's kind of hypocritical because, you can be some lunatic out there who's attracting a lot of comments and they leave you alone, but a little guy, they'll just stomp on you.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, right?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Seems to me it's either an open platform or it's not.
Yeah.
But what do I know? Nothing. I know nothing. Right?
Get Jeannie going. That's the whole thing. Let's get Jeannie
Yeah,
going.
don't get me going. Don't get me started.
Jim, maybe it's my eyes and maybe it's the camera, but that area in front looks really green.
This right here?
Yeah, well, just the whole tone of that section looks green to me. I don't know. Does anyone see it?
It doesn't look green. Did you say green or great?
Yeah, well, greenish, not green, but
I'm
greenish.
sure it probably does. It probably
It's
has.
leaning
feels
towards. It's
that way.
leaning more towards green than red. That's what I'm seeing.
I got brown.
Yeah,
Don't worry
okay.
about it. I mean, yeah. It right now that's the ochre, probably mixing with a little bit of blue and stuff like that going on in there, which is natural, which is what I want. It's fine. We still got some of these reds and stuff to put in here. We got a bunch of highlights yet to put in, and those guys will just cut those guys right out. Yeah, it does look a little darker probably on the video than it is here. This is a little bit. This is just a, if I put some more light on it, but then you guys get a reflection. See, if I put it that way, you can start to see it's more white.
Yeah.
I don't want it in these darks, so it'll just flatten out on you guys.
Yeah.
So where I'm working down here, patchworking and stuff, I'm looking at big strokes, the big areas here, and seeing what areas in these strokes, these areas here, are darker than these lighter and stuff. And that's what I'm kind of starting to pull in and stuff, is the darkness and stuff. I want to get it as as dark as it can be, it should be, and then I'll bring it back. Then when I hit the highlights, it'll just really come back to where it should be. But I got to get that darkness, and there's a lot of purples yet in here that I'm still got to dig in here and get and put in here. I've seen little areas where there is still a little more shadow showing through and stuff. And right now, like I was saying before, I don't have to be too precise. I'm working towards it, but I'm not even going to worry about some of these lines yet going through, because those guys have to travel across things, and since we're leaving it kind of loosey-goosey here, it's too early to put those guys in and be wound up and forced to stay there, things to stay there yet. But let me start getting some of the ruts on the outside. Boy, I forgot how really challenging these guys, you only feel like I only use like a few blues and purples and stuff on this thing, but I keep kind of, getting the right one all the time. Finding that, the warmer purples do have to come up front, so they have just a little more cad red into them. And right in here too. And since I got all that white in there, it's just a little bit harder than I should have done. I'm gonna have to switch brushes too. Anyway, well, let me get what was really gonna help too as I go here is start getting some of these highlights in here and stuff. Yeah, those are gonna feel definitely. I think they're gonna feel green. And I'm gonna counteract that with just a little bit, adding a little gray in them right away, so it's not too bright. That's gonna be too bright. I'm just going to drag a few of these across, and I can use the same color.
Is that the purple gray?
This is no, this is ochre and white. Yeah, I put just a little bit of some of this tree color into it. In fact, and grayed it out a little bit because it was going to be too bright.
Yeah.
Stuff. And what I want to do is make sections, little sections here going across, and not be too even. You know, that's the joy of this one right here is, you know, getting that, making sure there's some room in between here. So I'm just working on the edges a little bit here. They're going to bring back some dark, but I like to rather not. I'd rather keep them going this way. Now I'll work back and get my highlight. That's the thing about when you're working in snow and stuff is how bright things get awful quick.
Mm-hmm.
The contrast. Really trying to keep it just a little subtle. That's almost this one right here. Stronger. Cuts across. And then and then it gets bright. Then it goes to the bright section. So you can just see how I tried to break that up, not to make it too, you know, follow it up a little bit, but make sure you got, you know, that these guys don't just keep running all the way up, that you have some heavier shadow areas and you have a little bit stronger highlight areas. So don't make them too even, make them a little irregular. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm going to get to that big whiter area. That's going to have to be a lot lighter than what I have. I need a big, strong brush. I don't think that blue's there. I'm going to put the yellow on the side here because it's catching a lot of light.
Mm-hmm.
But underneath the road itself, that has a little more pink to it. That has white and pink to it. This big area, this area here.
Mm-hmm.
You can barely tell. It's so high key. They're right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only way you'll be able to tell. One's high and one's low, you know. I might even cheat it just a little bit and use some of this pink in there. Just to cheat it in there. Because you're going to be
Are you using that brush?
What's that?
Are you using oil on that brush to put the paint on top?
Right there, not too much. Not too much.
Okay.
And stuff. I like to, it was kind of like a big grab and go. I'm going to be using a little more neutral white here on the corner here. And usually how I take my stroke and stuff, I look for the cleanest, where I'm going to need it cleanest when it ends, when the stroke ends,
Mhm.
or and stuff, and find that, and know that's where I gotta, you know, where I gotta lay down the right amount of paint, and push it for it, and pull it up a certain way that just to make sure that it's going to be lay there cleanly over the other one without mixing too much.
Mm.
And just like everything else I do, I find the less I do stroke wise, the better, more natural it feels. When I start getting into these things here, just little strokes. Back in here, this got a little heavy right in there. But what I did here, I'm going to have to repeat up here in the front too. So better have a lot of that paint left over. But as I go back and get these areas back in here, it's just gonna, I'm really not going to be using my my same yellow white as I'm going to be using up here and right there. This one down here, now I'm using really the neutral white, one with just a little bit of blue in it and stuff. So I'm using that in as I go back into here, because that will won't be as strong. It won't drag you as far in here. And let me get my right. Looks like there's a hill found some more snow back in here too. Right into the trees here. So I'm gonna put those guys in. Try to go a little darker for the sky anyway, like I was talking about. That darkness will really help make this guy look a lot better. This brown here look a lot better, nicer, richer. Going up. Taking a direct stroke and just these strokes, you know, are all very flat. I'm almost just dragging the brush straight up. Except I'm not really doing a whole lot of work. You're trying to let the brush do most of the work for you. And it's finally the mid-tone here I'm using here, back here, this purple blue and stuff I've been using. Just has just a little bit of white into it. Up here it becomes, you know, the highlight and the shadows. And I can use it, and that's the thing about when you get in these shadows and stuff like doing in here, you can use a lot of the same color throughout because it really doesn't really do a whole lot. I mean, the depth here doesn't really change a lot no matter what color I use. If you use it, just has to be like, feel like it has to be in the right value, and that's about it. So. Okay. A little bit, getting a little brushy here. All right. Now, I think though, let's see if I can get that right. There is a one right in here. There's a nice branch. You can't see it there, but the one that carries a little snow on it. Basically, what I want to do is get the the base of that shape of the where the snow is on this thing. Then I'll come back to the outsides of that shape, and just bring out the irregularities or the pieces underneath, and just do those, get those, and that's it.
That all?
And that's it. That's it. And it's that one thing. A lot of times it's less is more. If I find that when I start dabbing and stuff, and I keep going in here like this, trying to say, I miss a leaf here, I miss a leaf here. All of a sudden, I've overworked it really quickly. All of a sudden,
No petting the kitty.
yeah, no petting the kitty, right? No more petting. Quit it. You killed it. You loved it. You loved it. You killed it. So you got to watch those things. I mean, there is a couple little things up here I want to bring out, like little sky holes. And again, sky holes are at least 2 degrees darker than any of the sky around it. So, and we can just bring out a couple of these guys here and there. Not too many up here, a couple up here. It's nice blue. I just love putting blue in these things. I don't have to clean up that area yet. Get this in here, put some blue in there. Have some fun, and then start having fun. Right? We having fun yet?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Good.
super
Thanks,
fun.
Rob. The rest of these people. Anyway. I said, when it gets hit, use your finger. Your finger is always the best thing. Okay. I will try to show you guys how to put the people in too today. How I put them in, and probably a lot smaller brush I got right now. Okay. We're starting to work. Starting to get there pretty quick. Let's get the green tree in. Didn't even put the green tree in. God, I can't believe it. I forgot all about this guy. He's just going to be very simple to put in with just, 5 or 6 strokes. Just big twists of the brush, flat edge into it, and then bring it to straight, turn it to straight, and then twist it back down and make some of these branches here. You only need a couple of them, and then rest of the twigs and stuff. Put the snow on it. I would be using probably ochre if I want to get the green out of my brush. So definitely get the green out of your brush. Because everything will turn green on you. But I'm going to go back with that ochre and white I used here. And it's not as bright as anything back in here, but just the contrast itself, it should be, it's almost too bright. Just because of the contrast between the darks and stuff. It's going to have to be a little bit. And all I'm going to do is take my brush and roll it a little bit. Get the big spots, roll it out. A couple dots. That's all I want to do. You're excited, aren't you, Fahad? You want to do this? You're not paint? Are you painting?
No, no, I'm watching
You-
you carefully.
Are you done eating though?
Oh yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. So. Might even go a little bit warmer there. It just feels a little cool. Should be up here catching a little bit more light. So I just put a little cad orange into it. A little bit too much, but I think I'll hit them one more time with a highlight. There's only like a couple of highlights over here. And that should be it. Keeping it loose, loosey goosey. No more strokes. God, this is where I start to say, this is where I start to screw up and keep touching and messing enough. That's when I overwork it. You quit, stop. That's when I, start teaching. Say something cool. Talking to myself. All right. Let's work on the highlights here. We got more important things to get. Start figuring out where my ruts are really going to end up being and stuff. And a lot of times it's all going to be brush stroke. I'm going to just try to recreate some of these big strokes. We'll leave a little areas in between and then make that into the rut in the snow. So I'm going to go with that bright cad yellow, white, mostly white, just a little bit. That one has to be right here. I am going to dip my brush in just a hair oil, grab the paint, and think about that stroke. I'm not going to worry about the shadows here. The shadows going over it, those are going to be put in easy. I think I'm going to go with this and then just twist it. Try again, right underneath it. One of those has to be right. They don't have get the big parts. Okay. And it only comes out a few more spots, but really anything here, it all kind of lines out here shape wise and stuff. These guys, it's only a couple areas here that really start to keep the strength of that light. Okay. And I'll just do a few more of these. Let the highlights do all the work. I'll come back in afterwards and probably just hit it with some cool colors, some blues in here and stuff. Right now I'm going to more little pinks. In fact, as it travels across here, gets a little more orangey and stuff. So I've changed my highlight color here, and it's more of a cad in the cad pinks, white and cad going over here. A lot of the stuff I'm going to end up putting a few some little knife work in here too. And for my really purple darks that are going across here, I'll put a few knife work things in there. And I think that will really start to make it work. How's everybody doing? Anybody need help? You want me to take a look?
Oh gosh, this is hard. It
Is
reminds
this
me
one
of the
hard?
last time I did a snow painting in your class.
You want me to take a look, Jeannie?
I
You
don't
got
know.
time?
Well, I would like your opinion. I think I'm all over the place.
Sure. Take some. We got time. I mean,
Let me
okay, you're coming up. Coming up.
I got it. I think my road is too wide.
Okay. Where are you? I don't see you on. Oh, Jeannie Gale. That's a little
That's
different than it was before. Ooh, ooh. It's a little wide, but you know, you got some cool atmosphere going.
It's
stuff.
too linear. It's just too linear.
Yeah, you could push. Seems like you need to push it together a little bit more. But I like the warmth in those trees on the left there. There's really some good stuff going on in there.
These ones over here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I like that. You got to watch your spray of branches on the right. Those guys have just got a little bit too fingery, you know.
Okay.
A little too skinny, you know, kind of look like fingers and stuff. Make a couple fat. That's all you got to do is make some little heavier ones with heavier snow.
Are you talking about? Are you talking about here?
Yeah, I was just talking about the snow on it. Just needs to be a couple of them need to be different, a little bit heavier than the others because they become fingers and start to come across.
Yeah.
That's it. That's cool. Yeah, you just got to really start pounding the paint now. The thickness of when you get to your whites and stuff, the heaviness you start to use of the paint needs to really be opaque and go over these guys and stuff.
Okay.
But
so, should I blend this part more, like make it more? It looks like it's just going stripes.
you need, no, I wouldn't blend. I like what you got there. What you need is just to go into the stripes a little bit more and bring out a few more of the in between lines and stuff through it. Yeah, and like you were doing it with the colors back there, you didn't let them be too white all the time and stuff. Keep them toned back. Don't let the brightness, the contrast of the white, shoot in there a little bit. Kind of control it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to build the ruts going through there and stuff, and that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Okay.
It got a nice softness to it, Jeannie. Jeannie, it's going in the right direction.
Thank you. Well, I'll keep working on it.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Which one's that?
Emily.
Emily. That's my daughter's name, so it's
Oh, old
great.
fashioned.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh, I like it. Very watercolor. You're really getting some nice things going across there. Some nice shadows and stuff. Looks very meant like you really meant to do everything, and that's what really makes this look. These paintings work is when you really feel like you put them in there the way you mean it and stuff. You're not playing around and stuff, not tentative. But you got some good stuff. I like the shadows. I like the darks on the side. The trees working. You've got a little bit of, softness going on. Almost a little bit too much brush work. You're starting to get. Now it's time to start just putting the paint in there. Like I said, kind of like you mean it. Like gobs of paint. Put them in there like a singer sergeant would put them in there with that kind of aggressive nature. We'll get you there. We'll get you there. But this is getting very good. I do like the shapes. You do have the basic shapes moving well back there. you probably have to blue out the trees that going back a little bit on the left side a little bit more. They need a little bit more blue into them instead of they're a little too purpley yet. From about halfway of the shape going back, that'll help separate that shape out a little bit. So it looks, you'll know that there's different clumps of trees in there too.
Are we talking about,
And watch, yeah, right where your fingers kind of were, about halfway in that shape, it
In
starts
this
to
shape.
go blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes a little more blue. Put them, you can almost
yes,
go with
yeah.
straight blue into that color and to pull it out now.
Mhm.
And that will help out a lot. Okay. That's
Thank you.
coming along nice. That's gonna be nice. Thanks. Blood's not showing. Anybody else need to show real quick? All right. I'm here.
Not yet for me.
Okay. Hey, I liked your horse from last week there, Lisa.
Horses are so hard. I'm never doing another one.
Damn it. You know, you're not gonna have any fun next week when we do horses and snow.
With chickens.
Gosh.
And chickens.
Oh, good.
You know, yeah, these next few ones, you know, are going to be, you know, these are the harder ones we're doing right now. And so the horse one definitely was a pretty hard one to do, tackling one night. A lot of you guys did really well on that. So, you know, and then some
I
people
think they're beautiful. I just can't do them justice. They're beautiful animal.
Oh, yours look great. What are you talking about?
I'm trying to loosen up and I just can't do it.
Oh, it doesn't make a difference. I just got after you because of the barn was a little tight compared to the.
Yes, it was.
It was tight. It was tighter than the horse, so I wanted you to loosen up that a little
That's
bit.
true. I was having fun with that
And the
barn.
rest and everything else. I mean, you had some nice ideas going on in the background and stuff. I really liked those.
Thank you.
So, okay. No, you're welcome. You're welcome. There we go. I'm going to start working my way back. I got to hit a couple highlights here. Let me put in a couple some brush, or I can't put the knife work in yet. I was going to and show you how to put it in and stuff like that, how I like to put it in, stuff like that. But I got to dig into this guy just before I do that, because it's just a waste of time if I don't do that. I'm just going to go in with some of this light blue that I used way back in here, you know, back in here, and use that. It needs to be right in here. Almost too bright. That was the wrong one. So when you get the wrong one, then you just got to recreate your stroke. Seems like just not enough color. And you got to watch the petting of the, what was that? Pet the kitty there?
Yeah,
Pet
Ah,
the kitty.
what I always do. It's my downfall every time.
That was like one of the first times I've ever heard it. It sounds like you've heard it before, huh, Jeannie?
No, but it's a perfect description of how I paint, which is like what I'm trying to learn not to do. You know?
I know exactly when it's that dabbing,
Yeah.
over dab. I always thought of it as, you know, strokes. You need strokes, not dabs. It's what the brush is for. It's for strokes. So think about everything having to be moved and stuff. But you know, if you do enough strokes next to each other, they become a dab real quick too. I do that. But it's good to quit petting the kitty. Oh, that helped out. I mean, that got what I wanted to do. I'm gonna go with some ochre-ish yellow. It's gonna be has to be a little bit darker. I don't think I made that color, this color really, but it's well, it's really this tree comes across from this tree. This tree reflecting into the bank here and stuff. So it's just a little bit of that. That's a little too strong. I'll have to knock it down. Some pale white sky and stuff here, but that's what it's reflecting in that thing. So that's just beautiful. I love that scene, being able to catch those little things and bringing it back here. So that's a good color, just especially when doing whites and stuff like this. Is, you know, why is it white? Well, I mean, why is it's not white, but there's something mixing into it, right? And trying to find out what color that is. Just look around and you can usually see. It'll probably tell you. All right. A little too perfect sometimes. There you go. All right, I'm gonna start putting some of these objects in that are back here. I don't have to blow my. I'm gonna since I have my screen here, I can blow it up and see what those things are. You guys can't. So, you know, that's just the way it goes. You know, if I can see that there's more blue over here. Okay, blue goes in here, right into here, and then this guy comes out right there. Right behind him is a kind of a sign. I know that's. I gotta get that sign in there. I'm gonna put it, my brush is too big that way. A little big for a sign. Put it in. Okay. I am going to have to go to a different brush. Go to like a number 4 to get this guy in. I think that's the size. It's nothing worse when I pick up a brush and I go, oh man, I didn't clean that one. Or I haven't used that one in a while and it's got a lot of gunk on it. Oh well, hopefully it'll be nice to me. All right, I'm gonna paint the snowmobile in. You can, and then I'm gonna go right back to my. I'm gonna go with blue, green, my real dark lizard crimson and green, and get him in that way. He's right in this shadow right here, almost in the sign. A little bluer probably on top. And right behind him is another one that's just a shape. Better brush. Lot bluer. Okay, people. No. I'd go with the number 2 for these other these. There's a couple people back here. Boy, this brush. I screwed my brushes up. They don't have to be too much. If you can just get the idea of these people, back in here, you get away with it. Watch when you put these little brushes in your hands, because as soon as you put these little brushes in your hands, they end up staying there. When they stay there, they start to take over. But right now, I need it. I need to put in these tree branches here, or the stalks here. So I will use them. Okay. This is right back in here. Pile of snow or ice. Pretty big. And I'm finding it not very subtle. So okay. Okay, at this point, this is where I would say I would start going back in and really pushing some of these more blues into here. Using that to loosen up anything I have that's working against me. Just a lot, usually. And All right. Nine, oh. Okay, let me see. I got that stuff in. Let me put in, like I said, I was going to put in some ruts here and stuff. And you'll see, putting those guys in will really do the trick about loosening it up and stuff. I'm going to put them in probably one of my dark purples here. Probably the one will have just a little more red into it, so it's got a little more cad red into it. Purple. Oh, it's dirty. Boy, that's almost like a brown. There's this one here that kind of cuts in stuff. I always like to get that in. This is just the alizarin crimson and purple and white, and then I just add a little bit of cad red into it. That's what I'm using right in here. Gonna let the knife do a lot of this work here, making these crevices and stuff, and then I'll come back and just touch them with a brush. That's what I'll do here, but in here I got to make them more blue and purple and stuff. So when they cross over and start to be in here, I got to make them more. I don't have as much red in them. And that's how the things I always look for is just a couple of these that cut through here and go all the way through. You just follow it. Try not to do too much work in there because it's just gonna get complicated, overcomplicated. So I'm only gonna bring in probably like 3 or 4 lines through here, and just that's really all I have to do. And it's less and less and less. Over here, I'll just do a few more. And it's okay to be messy. Works. As I go back in there too, I could probably get a couple more purple ones back in here, crossing the snow. I can always go. And there's really only a couple here that even show. Who am I boring?
Oh, it's not
Everyone-
that. It's so, I gotta stop.
Okay. You want to show me where?
I'm making it work.
That's okay. Well, let me take a look.
I can look at it later, tomorrow and just try to fix it.
Well, you want me to take a look now?
No, you gave me some good tips. I think I just need to follow them.
That would help. That would help. It always help. I'd go with my tips. Yeah, definitely go with my tips.
I think I need to look at it with fresh eyes.
Yeah, I tell you, we lost an hour, so really it's, like we're paid until 10 o'clock right now. So
I
until
wish
we
that-
get adjusted, I understand. Anybody else want to show? You can see where I'm going with this pretty quickly. I mean, I'm gonna have to hit the highlights one more time
Mhm.
here. This back in here, and then there you bring out your big expensive brushes. Your finger work, and you soften edges back and forth a little bit.
Mhm.
That's your best brush. Just don't get too crazy, but I always like, soften a couple edges there. Make them quick and clean strokes. That's usually, I think, works the best. Anyway, let's see. We got 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You guys want me to paint for a few more minutes and then go look through them, or you guys want to start showing?
I'm watching. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Are you? Okay. If you guys are, I'm just gonna. This right here needs to come up a little bit stronger too. I mean, the paint's too thin. So now I got a good brush. I got my big brush. I think I can get it out. I can get it in there, right? I think I can. I think I can get it in there right. Oh, I knew exactly what it was.
Who else is painting besides me? Oh, there's
I'm
two of us.
watching.
Everybody quit.
Lisa,
Just you, Lisa.
I'm watching.
You're watching.
But
Mhm.
somebody else was painting too. Who was it?
Emily?
Emily. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the only one painting.
Why, you feel like you're the one doing work and no one else is working again?
No, it's embarrassing because it looks.
Why?
Mhm.
I don't-
No.
Well, Andrea might be, if Andrea is there, she's painting. And if she's painting, I'm in trouble.
Let's see.
Well, come on now.
Yeah, she is painting. I'm really going to push the yellow one, I think, over here on this side too, a little bit. Oh, come on now. It's getting way past your bedtime, isn't it, Andrea?
Yeah, I am a little tired tonight, I will say, with the time change.
Yeah,
You betcha.
sure got me too. I usually will stay here another half hour or so after you guys, we break off and paint and stuff. Because I have enough, bent up energy to just keep going, and I'm too lazy to clean my brushes. So I like to get the paint out of them. See, what I want to do in these, like, I love these little areas like this, where you have, kind of some nice beginner strokes in there, all that dark and stuff I did and stuff. And now I want to just get in there and do like one or two little dots and stuff in here for highlights, but I don't want to do too many of them because it gets really dotty. And I've ruined, so I don't know how many paintings I've done this and just, overdone this. So I'm trying not to tell myself to shit. Quit it. Stop now. Less is more. Always less is more. Got a couple branches in here coming through. So I don't know. You guys didn't like this one, or you guys are okay with it?
No,
Oh,
it's
it's
beautiful. It's beautiful.
I
Is
like
it?
it, and I like the size of the canvas.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys probably had to buy more than one, right? And stuff. So you can, any of the paintings we do from now on, if you want to do one long and skinny, you can figure out a design that works. That is, please go for it. Have some. Make it exciting. They are different.
They're
I
just
mean,
good for landscapes.
oh, they're beautiful for landscapes. I mean, even if you go bigger than this too. I like going bigger. Yeah, I would just say the shadows. Make sure when you do get to these guys, you get the stair steps right, flat against the highlight. Then it kind of bends across everything else, and you can get those guys and keep them loose. That one's a little could be thicker here, there, and then soften it up. All right. Now just, like I said, just bring out a couple of these highlights. Just gonna touch them with a brush.
Jim, when you send us the recording, can you also send us a picture of the finished painting?
For $5, put it in the mail. Yeah, I know you. It's gonna be on eBay.
Oh yeah.
At least I know one place you can't put it. You can't go on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Can't put on
Oh.
Facebook.
Oh, what did he say? Oh. Yeah. Anyway, I could keep going and stuff. I would say I'm just gonna find a couple warms like this, yellows and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and pop those guys in here as my highlights. It starts changing the whole color scheme here. Yeah, I always find, the more unexpected sometimes the color is in these little areas, the more exciting and fun it becomes. Same with a good, strong brush stroke. All right, good enough for now.
That's
I'll work-
nice.
That's beautiful.
Fix it up.
That's
Mhm.
really pretty, Jim.
Yeah, see, it was all about that.
Yeah.
And if I put any more strokes in there, it's going to be overdone really quick.
Right.
So you almost have to say that's done. So that's the consistency of this consistency and this over here. Everything's got to feel like it belongs.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, sort of belongs.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Gosh, you guys are great. Now show me your stuff.
I don't have anything to show.
You're not showing? Okay. Andrea, can you show?
Oh, okay.
She's
I'm not a-
sleeping.
I'm not a
Andrea's-
snow person though. Well,
You're not a snow person?
no, I hate
Live in-
shoveling.
You
Oh,
live in
let me-
Michigan,
let me turn
girl.
on the video helps. Okay.
Let me get
Pretty.
this video. I'll come back and get. Where is she? Oh, cancel.
Let's see.
Here she is.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's so nice.
You look like you're such a slob. I tell you, you are. You are such a slob with your paints. Look at that. You just throw color anywhere you want and you think it's going to work, don't you? Don't you?
No, I'm going to let it rest so I can think about it. I'm at the point where you can fuss. And I
Yeah.
don't want to fuss. So I'll sit
You
on it.
just-
a day.
Yeah, you just need a couple really clean areas. Just a few good clean spots of paint, clean paint. Usually the flatter blues and farther back and stuff.
Okay.
You just need a couple cleaner colors, just not so much mixing, just simpler, you know.
All right.
Because the front, that will make the front so more, I mean, front's very dynamic. I mean, you have so many good colors. Love the oranges, love the purples, love the blues going in there, and all with all the warm grays and browns and a little bit of white on top. See, that's the colors you can find in snow. And that's what makes snow so interesting, is when you do that, instead of just painting it with a lot of white and stuff, you just clean up from behind that shadow, couple spots, just keep them very clean.
Okay.
And you're gonna
right.
that's really gonna make that, you know, solidify everything, make
Okay.
everything
so
else up in the front nicer.
It was a nice size. I kind of enjoyed the length part for a change.
Yeah, isn't it fun?
Instead of just
yeah.
regular prism, like a rectangle. Yeah.
Yeah, it loosens you up. I'm glad. I liked it too. I always like paint on these. So maybe if you guys have an extra one, we'll do another one later on. Something really hard though. That's beautiful.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah, it was fun. All right, guys. Good night.
Emily,
Good night.
I'm kind of
Emily,
pushed here.
Emily, can you want to show Emily, or I think
Oh,
Michael's
Emily's
here
got
yet?
something.
No,
Michael's-
No, Jim, I stopped and started watching. I had a hard time with it.
Oh, you punks. You guys, come on. This is snow. It's easy. It's white and blue. White and blue, red. Okay, we're painting.
Have a
snow
good
again
week,
next
everybody. I'm going to sign off.
All
Good
right.
night.
she's
Good
gonna-
night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Andrea. I'm sorry I left you up there. I left you up
Bye,
there.
everybody.
Sorry, Andrea, I left you up there. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. You guys are having trouble with this one.
That's good
I-
though. I want to paint snow. I want to learn how to paint it.
Okay, because snow can be so much fun, and it's basically just your purples. You got warm purples up front, cooler purples in the back. That means alizarin crimson in the back, and cad reds in the blue, and blue in fronts. And you just do that, you can create your whole distance and stuff. That's basically all I did here. This is a little bit warmer here, and it gets cooler, and then it's cleaner, and it gets. Yeah, I told her to keep this clean back here. Mine's a mess.
That one
I
stroke
can see
you
it in
put
everybody
down.
else. I look at mine. What are they doing? Wake up! Anyway, well, we'll go over it again. There'll be a test on this. And we won't be done. We're not totally done yet. I'll finish this up a little bit, and I'll pass it along with the recording on this.
Thank you.
What do you guys want to paint next week? Anything? People?
No.
I don't know,
Trains?
You always come up with something good.
Okay.
But not a
Oh, yeah.
horse.
would a building be difficult?
No, buildings would be fine. Buildings would be fine. You know, I'd like a skyscraper, something like that.
Something simple. No, I will.
A cityscape. Well,
With
I know, I
snow
got-
and a horse-drawn
God.
carriage.
yeah,
in the
well, yeah,
snow.
there you go. There you go.
Okay.
No, I have got I got so many I want to paint from Chicago, just from the L's, looking underneath the L's and stuff, and like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that stuff. So with the light coming through and stuff, so easy, so easy designs.
Yeah,
tough to paint.
something like
But,
that.
I'll find something. Okay, I'll find like an old barn, or I think Charlotte's not here. She had a really nice one, and it won't be a round barn or anything, but
Good.
I think it was like a grain elevator and stuff like that. They were kind of fun,
Be fun.
kind of simple. We'll see.
or-
I'll find you guys something good. A what?
Okay.
Well, you said about an L, like a city, the L tracks in the city. Would that be difficult?
Probably.
Yeah.
If you find snow difficult, yes.
Oh.
No. They maybe I'll look into one for maybe a workshop or something like that we can have more time painting or something, maybe a 2-day workshop, 3 days, 6 days. That would those take a long time to paint, just the drawing out of
Yeah.
of those tracks. I love them though. I mean, they are so dynamic. I love to do one again. They just, like I tell you, they just wear you out.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well, I'm going to say goodnight to you guys then. And
Thank you.
Night,
You
thank
guys-
you.
Right.
everybody go vote. Have fun. We'll
Yep.
Good
Will
night,
do.
figure
everybody.
out something good,
Yeah.
something great for next week.
All right.
Okay.
Good night.
All right. Night, guys.
Bye.
Night.